Okay, so today we're going to be looking at using the calendar in OurFamilyWizard. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it can be a little tricky when you're trying to insert your schedule and things like that. So we're going to take a little look at that. So this is what your calendar will look like when you hit the calendar button over here. This is your dashboard basically. It shows everything from printing out the calendar to adding events, adding moments, your settings. Obviously you can change the view of your calendar. On the left hand side, the sidebar over here, you have a parenting schedule, the holidays, exporting a calendar if you need to, the last viewed option, which means you can see when your co-parent or yourself or whomever last viewed the calendar. And of course there's filters and all that good stuff. So we're going to go through that as well. Okay, so setting up the calendar itself, this is the parenting schedule page. And as you can see, we are a week on and off schedule. So you can select that, put the information in, and go from there. You can color code in your account preferences and make it a little bit easier to read on the calendar. You can show details if you have any and a history if you have any. So we have a week on, week off. That's why this is color coded. And when we go back to the main calendar, you'll be able to see easily which weeks are whose. The next page is the holidays page, and these are predefined in OurFamilyWizard. And here you can also see that there are times, so we can put in certain times. You can modify these however you need, and you can even create your own holiday situation if you need to. So going back to the main calendar again, you can see the color coding here, and right here where you see dinner nights, that is an event that I put in the calendar because every Wednesday our son goes back and forth to the non-custodial parent for a couple hours for dinner. So again, on this side you can see last viewed. These are the last viewed entries here. It'll show a date and a time. Filters, you can filter the calendar based on soloing out just your co-parent or your events, etc. And the legend itself, it tells you what the little symbols mean. For instance, right here, I put in a journal entry for something on this day, and it gives me that little icon. So I can click that icon and it'll take me to that journal entry. Now to create a new event, you would obviously click on new event and add in the details and all that good stuff. It's very important to specify a time if possible, because if it overlaps into another day, it doesn't take up the whole day. So you need to put in an actual end time and a start time. You can select in here an event for yourself, the co-parent, etc., etc. You can choose to put in a drop-off parent or pick-up parent if you have confusion on that, or if you have somebody else who's not very cooperative with you. And you can select which kids this particular event is for. You can schedule it all day. You can make it repeat. You can add a location, notes, etc., etc. I'm not really quite sure what the private event icon does here. Maybe this is just for you to input something for yourself, and you can also set a reminder here. Overall, it's a pretty good calendar system. The times that we've run into issues was designating split holidays. So for instance, Christmas and New Year's, because our son is off for multiple weeks, we have to use the school schedule and not necessarily the schedule that's in the calendar system. So we have to make an event specifically for that, and for us it is halfway through the day he gets out of school to, I think, like the day he returns to school. So if it's an odd number of days, somebody is going to get an extra day in their time, and that's just the way it falls. So our exchanges usually happen either immediately after school or at 6 p.m. that night, and usually is 9 a.m. or 6 p.m. for the return or the exchange halfway through the event. So to do that in the calendar, you really got to kind of do your math, get with your co-parent so there's no back and forth about who gets the extra day. Because here's the thing, your co-parent does have the ability to come in and change, modify, even delete events that you put into the calendar. It is not a locked system, so just because you put it in the calendar does not mean that it's in stone. They can come through, change it, modify it, etc. When that happens, you will get a notification, depending on how you set up your notifications, saying so-and-so's made changes or modified or created an event, and you need to go back in and see where that happens. Now, one of the issues with this app is that when you click on that push notification and it opens up the app, it does not take you to the event that was modified. You actually have to go into your messages, and it says, like, I'm not sure what it says. I'll have to see if I can find it. But you'll go into your messages and it'll have a notification there that you can click on, and it tells you when and where they modified. So then you can go back into the calendar separately and find what they've changed. So it is a little tricky. You do have to work with your co-parent, unfortunately, because they can come in and wipe out the calendar. And I'm not sure 100% that there's a history of what changes or deletions were made, but I'll look into that and put that on the screen if I find any information out about it. Overall, again, I appreciate OurFamilyWizard. I think it's one of the best apps out there. Actually, I take that back. With all the research I've done and all the experimenting, I will say it's probably the best out there as far as features go. So if you're interested, please check out the link in the description below. And I would appreciate, if you're enjoying this content, that you subscribe so I can keep on giving you more information. And as always, please keep the emails coming. I've gotten quite a few, and I'm getting them all sorted out, and I will be making videos on your questions shortly. All right. Thanks for watching Elevated Dad, where we're raising awesome humans solo.